Hi, Janice here again from Miracle Shih Tzu, and this is the 6th video in a series that we've been making about puppy development from birth to 9 weeks of age. And today we're going to devote the entire video to grooming, because these puppies have gotten very dirty because they enjoy going outside now and they love to explore outside. And unless you are on top of them constantly, they will tend to get into mud and anything else that is in their path. As we have seen, they like to eat grass and pick up sticks. So they are typical puppies of this age. So today we're just going to be bathing, clipping nails, cleaning off paw pads, probably doing a little sanitary clip, and getting them used to having their face brushed and combed, which is something that not all puppies tolerate so well. So I'm hoping that if we start early enough, we'll be able to do that. So what I'll be using, I have a little pin brush here. I have a very chewed up little puppy comb. I also have a little tiny little puppy bristle brush. This is really a useless brush for a Shih Tzu, but it is a good way to get them introduced to having their whiskers and their mustache combed. I still use the little toenail clippers. So much easier than trying to find a regular dog clipper, although cat clippers actually work pretty well. I have my clipper, and there's no puppy size for these, so this is just normal size clipper. And I'm just using a regular hair dryer, probably on a low setting, because sometimes the hair dryer is a little stressful to puppies. Now, this is not the first time we have groomed them. They've all been groomed once before. They've all had their first bath and blow dry. So we'll see how they do the second time around. Let's go. So I've got little Ginger here. She's about 6.5 weeks old now, and she's about to have her second bath. After that, we'll be blowing her dry. So you ready, Ginger? You ready to have a bath? I just bathed them in the sink, in my sink in the kitchen. And let me see if we can make this easier for you to see here. Make sure the water is warm but not hot. And I like to get them all wet first. And I'm using this BioGroom. It's for white dogs. She's got a lot of white on her, especially her paws, so it helps keep the white a little bit cleaner. And she's being a good little girl. Soap her all up. I usually start with the feet because they're usually the dirtiest. That way the shampoo has the longest to work on that. This is more of a shower than a bath, but you can certainly put a little pan in your sink and let them stand in the water. I wouldn't make it more than about a 1/2 inch high or deep. And once we've got the paws done, then we're going to soap up the rest of her. Now, it looks like I'm using a lot of shampoo, but I'm really not using that much. They certainly don't need a whole lot. And since this is not a puppy shampoo, I'm going to be very careful with her eyes, not to get the soap in her eyes, because that would be the last thing you want to do. But on the other hand, her little whiskers and mustache are pretty dirty, so you want to make sure you get some soap on it too. This doesn't have to be a long, drawn-out process. This can take just a couple of minutes. Of course, as they get older, it takes a lot longer to bathe them, especially ones that have very long hair. And I'm lucky to have a faucet here where I can just stick her under the water and let her rinse off. The other thing I don't do with puppies is put shampoo and conditioner on them. I just use the plain shampoo. Their hair is very rich right now. They don't need extra moisturizers. like you might need for an adult dog. But I do like to make sure that I get them very, very clean. So I'll be probably rinsing them longer than I actually shampooed them. Now, I always just kind of cover their face and let the water run back on their neck. She's not liking it too much, but she's not fighting too much. And the other thing with the whiskers, hope you can see this, I try to get as close as I can. Because the last thing you want is to get soap in their eyes or in their nose, even their ears. You can put a bit of cotton in their ears if you're worried about getting too much water in their ears. But her little ears are so small. I'd have to have a really small cotton ball. And that's about it. You're nice and clean again, Ginger. And we're going to let her squeeze some of the water out before we even get the towel. Makes the drying process a little bit faster. Once I think I squeezed as much as I can, I'm going to get this towel over here, and we are going to... So now I have Tibbet here, and what we're going to do with him today is to trim the hair between his paws. And you can see his paws are kind of dirty. He's not had his bath yet, but what we're going to do is get the clippers and see what we can do about getting all that hair off. And we'll see how well this goes. I'm going to try to hold him up so that you can see what I'm doing here. And I'm just using a number 10 blade and an Andy's clipper. You can also use a pair of scissors if your little puppy won't allow you to do this. Normally, a professional groomer will take care of this once you start taking the puppies to the groomers, but a lot of people will wait until they're about 5 months old before they have their first grooming appointment, and so a little bit of this hair taken off will help give them a little bit more traction when they're on like slippery floors, because all this hair just acts like a little sock, making it a little bit hard to run on things like tile and hardwood floors. So you just want to get as much of the hair off of it as you can. I'm not going between the pads at this age because there's really not much hair in there. That will change, of course, as he gets older. And then you can always kind of brush it a little bit to let the hair stand up a little bit. And he's not real happy about it, but he's tolerating it, which is a good thing. And then you just have to repeat it with each paw. So I'm back here with Ginger again, and she needs her nails clipped just a little bit because we've been trying to keep up with it so that they don't get too long. Because unfortunately they're still nursing on Mom, and they have teeth, but they also use their paws when they nurse, so we want to keep them as short as possible. And like I mentioned before, little toenail clipper is really the best thing to do, is to use for at this age. But I also have a cat clipper here for cat nails, and that works pretty well. But as you can see, if you use a big nail clipper on tiny little nails, and this is going to be really hard to see. It just overwhelms them. So we're going to see if we can get this on camera to where you can see what I'm doing. It's not going to be terribly easy, but we'll see how well she tolerates this. There you are, Ginger. And you just want to take the very tips off. And a lot of puppies aren't real crazy about this. So I try to hold them and clip. And I usually have a routine where I'll do like the front left, rear left, and then go over to the right side. Also, she does have her dew claws still, and they do grow, and so you do need to clip those too. They're pretty little. So really, it's all about just trying to make sure that she stays comfortable while you're doing it. And if you're worried that the nails are going to be kind of rough on the outside, this is just a very cheap metal nail file. I think I got it from Sally's Beauty Supply. And you can just a couple swipes over the nail. Of course, it's also a good idea if you do have like concrete somewhere on another sidewalk or a pathway or something like that. The concrete will also help wear them down a little bit. She's doing the same thing that all the other puppies do, and that's why I have. So now we need to work on her face. Now, we really don't. I mean, what a cute little face. And Shih Tzu puppies don't really need a lot of grooming on their face at all. However, if you get them used to it and it becomes a pleasant activity, then it becomes a little bit easier later down the road when they do need to have their faces brushed. And I do like to use the soft brush. It's not going to do a lot of good. You certainly aren't going to be able to use it when they're older because it really doesn't get through their hair. But I think what happens is that if they realize that it doesn't hurt and it feels good and you're talking to them like they really are enjoying it, it's easier later on. And the main thing with Shih Tzu puppies is the reason why they're called the chrysanthemum dog is because all the hair all the way around their face grows out like the petals of a chrysanthemum. And which means that after a few weeks, yes, we're not going to be able to see her eyes at all. So I do like to practice trying to get them used to being brushed. Now, right now, all she wants to do is sniff the brush. She probably has lots of interesting smells on it. But brushing it down and brushing it up and back, and then on the other side, that gets them used to it. And then if you want, you can use a little tiny comb and get them used to it. This is more of an experience for them rather than any major grooming. Now, most people that aren't going to show or don't want the long coat will have the groomers trim the face to like a puppy cut when the time comes. But unfortunately, like I'd mentioned in an earlier segment, many people will wait until they're 4 or 5, even 6 weeks old or 6 months old to get them groomed. And by that time, you can't see their hair. So if you want to keep it long, you will want to make sure that you don't cut the hair around their face because it will take forever to grow out. And in another video, I'll show you what I'm talking about, because their mom's hair was groomed and trimmed, and now I'm trying to regrow it out, and it takes forever to retrain it. So it's always better if you think you might want long hair and a top knot, not to clip it at all, even if it means, having to put a little bit of cream or something on the face just to keep it out of their eyes, because that part's important too. So there you have it. We have groomed the 6-week-old puppy, bathing, blow dry, brushing, combing, and nail clipping, doing a little bit of the paw pads, and also showing you a little bit about training the facial hair to lay still, going down, and then the other one going back up. I hope that is helpful to you, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to my video.